It is, it's recording. So, it's caught me by surprise. It's my new camera. And I've been trying to do some research. I'm going to tap the screen because it should follow my face. It is. Hey, look at that. So hello, welcome. This is Martin. I'm back with another video. I've recorded dozens of videos, but I haven't uploaded them yet. And I'm hoping that this will require little editing, because according to the science or the actual advice I've been seeking off YouTube, they tell me that I need a good title and I should spend a lot of time on the title before I even make the video. I now know what I've got to do, but I haven't come up with a title. I'll just jump straight in as I usually do to make the video. They say that I should make a good thumbnail. I haven't got any ideas for that either. And that I should have a hook. TTH. A title, a thumbnail and a hook. But, you know, I'll think about them later. I just got things to say. And I just want to give you an update on where I am. But in order to actually tell you what's actually happened recently, I need to go back so it kind of makes sense to you. But if you remember, for those of you who don't know, for those that do remember, eBay cancelled all my listings about 2 years ago now. I mean, I talk about it as if it was yesterday, but it wasn't. It's already two and a half years ago. And they cancelled all my listings over a VAT matter. It wasn't that I was in breach of any rules or regulations. I had the VAT number in the system, but they kept writing to me and telling me to put it in. And every time I phoned through to speak to the telephone agent, they acknowledged that it was there and that I didn't need to do anything. It was a glitch. And this went round and round the week for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then on at the end of the Friday of the third week or fourth week, they just cancelled everything, and I had 0 sales. What they had done is put me on a trading restriction for about 6 or 7 months, without really telling me what the implications were. They reached out, but they didn't do anything. They didn't really help me. They offered me help, but it wasn't any help that I could do. I felt as if they were really trying to tell me something else, but it wasn't. And what clouded the matter was that there was several hundred other eBayers who got affected by the exact same thing at the exact same time. So it wasn't sort of unique to me. It was a blanket thing. In hindsight, I think it had something to do with listings that I'd created nearly 10 years ago that were no longer fitted with their platform, with the developments that they'd made, and that they really wanted to cancel those listings and kind of move on. But the problem was that I relisted them all again, so I just created the problem a second time. Because, you know, I had 1,300 listings or 1,200 listings, and they were all multi-variation. They were far too complicated for me to actually change in bulk. The only way I could do it is if I switched my shop off and basically sat there for another 2 years and started all over again, and I wasn't about to do that, but they didn't tell me that's what I needed to do. Anyway, I digress a bit. I'm getting into a moan again. Even though I like moaning, I need to get away from moaning and get to the story. The reason why I'm on here today. Okay, that's a bit of background, right? So they messed up my business, and I had to go and get a part-time job. I ended up driving a bus, a minibus for what's it called, National Express. It was wonderful. I really loved it. But that came to an end, unfortunately. Even though I got a D1 license out of it, I can't really use it again because the vacancies that are available don't fit around my business. It's a shame, because I kind of got used to having the money that came in, and it kind of helped me keep this business afloat. And, you know, without any real direction or any help or anything like that, I'm a self-directed individual. I can't stand being told what to do, so I'm never going to seek any help or advice from anybody, apart from the YouTube community. I'm hoping you can give me some help and feedback. I kind of trust you guys because I know that you're doing what I'm doing, or at least some of you are. The ones that are doing what I'm doing aren't necessarily making the videos that I'm making. The ones that are making the videos are the ones who are resellers. They're buying stuff at the car boots or in the charity shops, and they're reselling them, and they're not frightened of any competition. They're very happy to share with everybody what they're doing, because what they get is unique to them. There might be plenty of that product about on eBay, but it's unique to their find. You know, oh good, I found a pair of rolling skates, or I've managed to locate a, you know, kicking pair of trainers or something like that I can make 30-40 quid on. Good for you, that's great. I'm trying to do a bit of it, but it takes a lot of time up. What I do, my business model, and it was designed this way from the very beginning when I started back in 2011, was to basically buy from wholesalers stuff that I could repeat. You know, it was replenishable. So I'd go to the extent of actually creating a listing, and as long as I could basically then go and get the stock once that product is sold out and replenish the listing, I didn't need to recreate the listing again. And that is the source of the problem, I think, because those listings that I created no longer fitted with the eBay algorithm, and what they really wanted me to do is to cancel them and relist by selling similar, not relisting the actual listing. They wanted to sell similar and create a new number. And I'm kind of doing that as I go, but in some cases, in the vast majority of cases, to be honest with you, I'm basically tweaking the title, changing the prices and upgrading it, if you like, in some way. And I believe that that is stirring the algorithm and bringing it back to life. That's sort of the background to where I am, right? I've got 1,200 listings currently, or maybe more, 1,260 listings actually. And it's very high maintenance managing that many number of listings when there's multi-variations in them. You know, some of them, for instance, I might have like 30 colours and 3 or 4 different sizes, you know, not sizes, but yes, sizes, you know, like they can buy 1 or 5 or 10 or 20 metres or quantities, all that kind of thing. Up to the maximum number of permutations that I can do. I'm kind of restricted because I use InkFrog as a listing tool, and I connect it to Shopify and to eBay. I create it on InkFrog, push it onto eBay, push it onto Shopify. Shopify restrict those variations to 100 options, so I keep it to 100 on eBay as well. eBay will allow me to do 200 plus, I think, but I keep it to 100. But even so, with all those permutations, I normally max it out, and it takes time to manage it. You know, you've got to work out all the numbers and everything. And if there's a price increase from the supplier, you've got to go into your spreadsheet, do your numbers, look at your new profit forecasts, and take that data and then put it into both eBay and Shopify. It's an endeavour, you know. This is a full-time job. I usually, when I replenish stock, I run out of something, I order it from the wholesalers, and I check to see what I paid for it, compare it with what my numbers are based on in my spreadsheet, and if it's gone up, I tweak it. You know, add it, you know, increase the 1 metre of this by another 10 pence or something, and I'll put it into the InkFrog, and it changes it for me. However, the one big problem which has been doing my head in, and you may concur with this, is the raw mail. They've had that many price increases over the last 18 months. It's been near impossible for me to maintain all my listings. So you get to the point where they've increased the price that often. I've started to sell some products at a loss, and so about 6 months ago I made the decision to basically move away from a free postage model where I'm paying the postage and the customer's under the impression that they're getting it for free, which is a good business model because there's multiple purchases in there. You know, it's quite profitable for a seller, but it's just not possible for me to manage it. So I've moved away from a free postage model to a paid postage model. I was a bit worried about it, but I thought, you know, if there's another postage increase, all I have to do is go into the postage profile on InkFrog, change the postage, and it will update all my listings accordingly that are affected. Same with my spreadsheet. All I've got to do is go in and put the new postage price in, and all my individual spreadsheets draw the postage part from that core postage spreadsheet. So just change the postage on that spreadsheet and it changes all my spreadsheets because they're all connected and linked together. So far it's working good because there's been another price increase. It was what we call the penny stamp. It's the letter. You know, some of the items that I send, I'm able to send the letter rate, and that went up for about 30p increase. Gladly, it's not such a problem because I've got it's not all my listings that go with the penny stamp. It's only about sort of 5% of my listings, so I can isolate them and manage them. Indeed, I'm working on them as I go. But while I was moving to this paid postage model, I decided to actually standardize my promotions. I've got 2 kind of promotions running. The standard promotion that, you know, you give an extra payment to eBay in exchange for your listing being duplicated and put out there on a promotion, and if a customer lands on that listing and buys from that listing, then you pay them the premium that you say that you're going to pay. In my case, I just went for a standard 7% right across the board. It's just easier for me to manage that way, and I take that into account. And you know, if it, well, as it, okay, two ways to go on it. The first thing to know about that promotion is that I consider it to be a cost of acquisition. A lot of people out there think I'm mad for basically doing it. A lot of people don't do it. They think it's a rip-off and eBay are just benefiting, which is true. However, if I didn't do that, then I would not get that sale. That's the reality. I don't believe that the customer would eventually find my listing further down the search results. And I've seen recently that 2/3 of my sales are coming from this. That's the first thing to note about it. The second thing to know about it, I still have control. I can increase it or I can drop the actual rate that I pay. But it made it easier for me to control. The other one I was giving customers up to 20% discount off for a multi-buy. And now I've gone for a standard 5, 10, 15%. If they buy 2, 3 or 4 or more, that's my rate. And I've standardized that. I can control those rates if I want to on my core spreadsheet, you know, that I call a data spreadsheet, where I keep all that core data that's subject to change. Even the VAT is subject to change. And I wouldn't be surprised if they put it up. It'd be lovely if they put it down, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I've got that all that data on a separate spreadsheet, and I've got control over it. But it's kind of given me an awful karma. And so far, I'm about halfway through. I've still got about another several hundred listings to rework. I'm calling it a refresh. And as I'm refreshing, I'm seeing that I'm selling more. I'm selling more than I ever did before. And I don't know if my sales are coming back because of one of three things. One, because of the trading restriction that eBay had me on that 18 months ago is sort of moving on. Because what I noticed when I first started is I kind of went through these growth curves and reached a plateau for a few months, and then went on another growth curve and then another plateau. And I went through several of those until all my sales crashed. And I think I'm going on the same kind of growth curve again. The difference between when they cancel my listings and now is that I've got about another 600 or 700 multi-variation listings. So I'm thinking that, you know, at some point my sales could explode. But let me tell you, I'm very pleased with the way my sales have been going in recent months, especially since the kids went back to school. So I don't know if it's down to the algorithm that's giving me these sales, or if it is the kids going to school and the parents being freed up, but it happens to coincide with the time when everyone's saying that people haven't got any money, but here they are spending money with me. Or if it is the fact that I've made my products appear cheaper in the marketplace because I've stripped out the postage, the price has dropped, and I've added the postage onto the side so they can see what the true cost of the product is and what the postage is. There's a lot more transparency. And what I know about my products in the marketplace is that I get a lot of people that just come along and buy one product. Sometimes I get people that find their way to my shop, which is another story. They get through to my shop, and then you know that they've been in your shop because they're buying 2 or 3 different items from different products, from different listings, so you know they've had a good mooch around the shop. Straightforward single purchase, I believe they picked them up in the marketplace. They're just a marketplace buyer, and they rarely go through to the shops. And I think it got something to do with that. eBay's made it quite difficult for a customer to get through to the shop, and they really want them to live in and buy in their marketplace. They've got more control over the products that way. Or if it's because of the promotion that I've put on there, because 2/3 of my sales are coming from the promotion. So that's where I'm at. However, there's the other promotions that eBay have launched in recent times, and those promotions have been somewhat confusing for me. Offsite advertising, where you do pay-per-click with Google, and then there's inside eBay's marketplace where you pay for position right at the top. And I received a phone call about 18 months, 2 years ago, basically trying to persuade me to do it. An Irish fella rings me up, really busy, lots of phone calls to do. I got an opportunity of a lifetime. I haven't got much time to spend with you on the phone call. Blah, 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 blah. Give me a brain dump. And I agreed, okay, let's have a go. I've got nothing to lose, because I know that if I didn't pay for the promotion, I wasn't going to get the sale. The sale might be profitable, it might not, I don't know. But what I needed at the time was cash flow. I needed sales in order to have my bills paid, because I couldn't be sitting on all this stock with no sales. I needed cash flow. And I didn't have much time. I was working on that bus thing, doing the bus driver's job, so I was very stretched with time. And I just went with it, and we created this promotion to them. There was a discount involved as well, 50% off. So it was a no-brainer. I thought we've got nothing to lose. So we dumped in two categories. One was buttons and the other one was zips. And you got this kind of engine on the back where you can monitor the progress. And after about 3 weeks, he was supposed to ring me back, and he just didn't hear from him again. So I was left with this model, and I couldn't make head nor tail of it. CPCs, ROACs, all these different titles. And the one thing which I worked out myself was that I was paying for people in Google to see my advert, and they were clicking on it, and they were coming through to eBay, and they weren't buying on certain listings. And some of my listings accounted for 50% of all the clicks. So I had a listing that was costing me, say, £2.50 a day in clicks, and nobody was buying it. So I thought, stupid, what's the point of that? So I thought, it's obvious a brain dust, so I've got to take that listing out of the mix. That way they can't click on it. But what I started thinking about was, what happens if I was paying for that person to click on my listing, to come into eBay, and then he was seeing somebody else's listing that was being advertised on my listing, and then they were going on to that. And I was therefore paying for somebody else to get that sale. I thought, nah, that's not right. Then the second thought was, what happens if I'm paying for somebody to come into my listing and they were buggering off into the marketplace and growing eBay's business and not mine? Thought, why not just do the same thing on my own shop, pay for my shop, my Shopify store to grow. That's the thinking I had at the time. I got the needle, so I put the hold on it. But I did get a good several £100s worth of sales, and the return was 14%. Sorry, £14 sale for every £1 of clicks that I spent. So it was a ratio of 14 to 1. I paid £1 to get £14 worth of sales. I registered it. I didn't register it though. The penny didn't drop. I just left as it is. And the same with the other campaign. Then about 7 or 8 weeks went by, 2 months went by, and I thought, let's go back and have another go, and I'll do it with a different category, and I put zips in. And I had the same kind of experience. It was like £12 or £13 for every pound I spent. Left it like that, cancelled it after a while, because I got the same kind of thing in. The issue was, I was thinking to myself, hold on, wait a minute, I'm paying for these clicks to promote that listing. Then they're coming through to eBay and making a purchase of that listing from me, and I'm paying that 7% to eBay again. Right? That's what I thought. I'm paying twice. And I thought the margin isn't great enough for me to actually pay for that. So I stopped it. About a week and a half ago, I got a phone call from an Irish girl, Adele. Hello, Adele. She knows me. Have a great crack with your Adele, Roy. And she said to me, do you want to have another go? Because indeed, I kept getting these banners coming up, like dive back in again, 50% off. Because they've seen that I've had a go, and they can see that I've had some success with it. But to me, their idea of success was not my idea of success. However, in hindsight, learning with Adele, I had an opportunity to ask some of the questions, some of the questions based on some of the observations and learnings that I'd made. So I said to her, yeah, I'm up for it again. Let's give it another go. And we booked a phone call, and that was for yesterday. And I said, Adele, before we start, I've got a couple of questions. And I said, the first question is this. I know you can't resolve it. I said, but please let your marketing department know, the business development team, let them know that me, as an eBayer, and I'm sure all the eBayers out there that experience the same kind of thing as me, will concur that we think it's unfair to pay Google to send customers into eBay in order to, one, develop eBay's business, and two, for eBay to put other people's listings on your listing just so that you can sell their products. If I'm paying for a visitor to come to my listing, I just want them to see my listing. I don't want to see any photographs of anybody else. I don't want them to promote any other listings. I just want a fair crack of the whip. I've paid for it. Let me have that sale, right? That's, you know, the customer might look at it, nah, I don't like it, too expensive, I'm going elsewhere, right? Or I'm going to go and look elsewhere on eBay. Maybe they should, but they shouldn't. You shouldn't put another listing, another product there saying Martin's product is £1, but you can buy his, Trevor's, down here for 80p. Same product. No, it's not fair. So she said, no, I agree. She said she'll pass that on to the marketing team. I said, thanks very much. And the second question, I said, Adele, I said, the 7% that I'm paying for the normal promotion, if a customer comes through after paying for that click, will I also be paying the 7%? She says, oh, no, you're not. I thought, oh, that changes the game then for me. Because now I can see that where I've paid £1 to get £14 worth of sales, when I strip out the VAT and then work on my margin, I can see that I'm basically doubling my money. If it's costing me £1, but I'm getting £2 return in profit, then I'm making 100%. Because, you know, it's 50%. The cost is 50% of the profit. And I thought, oh, £1 for £1 I'm paying. I'll do that all day long. So it kind of looks positive. So I've gone back in with another program, and I've cherry picked a narrow range of products. I've gone in for a cost per click of 8p per click, and I've capped it at £5 a day. So at the most, it's going to cost me £130 to promote this. The cost. I'll spend £130 to get whatever I get, and then at the end of the month, I'll be able to see what the numbers are. But together, we're going to refine it and rework it. And as I acquire this knowledge, I'm going to go in with all the other listings that I've got in different ways. So that is what this video is about. What are you doing? Are you paying for promotions? Do you believe in it? Are there any questions you've got with it? Because I've got an opportunity to clarify this. I've got, when she speaks to me again next week, I think, or next week, or no, in 2 weeks' time she's calling back. I can ask her the question. So I'm going to get this video uploaded as soon as I can. What do you think? I'm a convert. I'm getting into it. I'm seeing that it makes sense to pay. I know we're paying the commission. I know that we're paying the shop fees. I know the final value fee and all that, and then all the other. But this is the way it's going. I think we have no choice. If you want to be a marketplace trader, you've got to play their game. It's their rules, and I think that they've got some kind of influence in the background where they've programmed the algorithm to say, if Martin basically signs up for this, that, and the other, then give him some more sales. That's what I'm thinking, because they have control over it. I mean, they create the algorithm. It's not as if they've got it out of the ether, is it? They set the rules, so they want us to succeed, but they also want a bigger share of the wallet. So it might be that if you want sales going forward, you've got to pay for it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know the rules. Help me, I'd help you. If I was in your seat, I'd do it, because I would want to help you out. So please help me out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Bye. How do you stop this? Oh, by the way, it's a Pocket 3, just in case you're interested. I got it because I was going to get it anyway, but there was a guy called Ricky Reseller. He got one, so he persuaded me to do it because I got jealous. Bye. How do you stop it then?